Welcome back to my channel, everyone. If you are currently new here and you've never seen my channel before, hi, my name is Natasha. You can call me T or Tasha, whatever you prefer, but I am a content creator as well as some other things as well. So today it's a little bit of a different little segment. I am actually opening up my first episode of If I Was a Rich Girl podcast, and this is episode 1. This was originally a blog. I am now turning it into a podcast of self-development and all the things that I am interested in and enjoy talking about and enjoy doing in my spare time. So I hope you enjoy, and I hope this can be your space where you can just unwind. This podcast is meant to be my own live video diary. I'll be sharing a lot of things with you and talking about a lot of topics that I feel like a lot of people can relate to, and it gives me a form of release because life is stressful, right? And we all need some sort of vice to release that stress, and I feel like this podcast will help with that, and hopefully I can touch some hearts out there as well that feel exactly like how I'm feeling. So I hope you stick around for the ride, and I hope you enjoy this first episode. So let's jump straight in. Okay, let's talk about 5 things I'm grateful for this year. In fact, in general, I feel like it's very important because it keeps you humble and it actually makes you realize the blessings that you have currently in your life. Because a lot of us like to think about the future and our goals and our dreams instead of being in the present and looking around us at what we've already got and how far we have come. So 5 things I'm grateful for this year is 1, my life. I am grateful for waking up every single day, being able to better myself, repent, save my soul, and just enjoy the fruits of the earth. I'm also grateful for my family and having a support system that I truly enjoy being around. It's taken a while to realize and see how many people in my life actually ride for me as much as I ride for them, and I'm very grateful for that. I'm also grateful for my job. I have recently gotten a new job, something that is completely different, didn't even think I would even be able to do, but I am currently living the dream right now. I've just started. I don't want to jinx anything or talk too much about it, but it's literally ticked all my boxes, and it's something I never considered doing as a career, so it might even be like a potential career. We don't know. Let's see, but I'm very grateful for that. I'm also grateful for the skills that God has given me. I have a lot of natural skills that's embedded in me, like my writing. I've recently released a new poetry book called Saltwater and Sunlight. I will link it up here. It's a book filled with amazing poetry, guys. Like, that's my jam. I love writing, I love poetry, and I really feel like this book can touch so many people and help them to be in the moment. So if you would like to check it out, please do. It would mean a lot. But yeah, I'm grateful for my skills. I now am more confident in honing my skills and, you know, utilizing them in ways that not only betters me but betters other people as well. So I'm grateful for that. And the last thing that I'm grateful for is general health and fitness. I have been on a health journey recently. I've gained a lot of weight, more than I've ever gained in my whole life since giving birth and the stresses of life. That is not an excuse, but I'm just saying. And I've always struggled with my weight, but I'm genuinely serious this time to try actually put it into action. My weight has been something that has stopped me from doing a lot of things. I usually cower away from going out. I don't like the way I look in certain clothes, and it's bothered me for a long time. It's something I don't really talk about because I just feel like, you know, why cry about it when you can do something about it? But I've gone down that road so many times, and it's always been reverting back to comfort eating and giving up after like the first try when it's too hard. But now I've been consistent and I'm still trying, and I know it's a long journey. There's no quick fix, and I am just pushing myself and encouraging myself daily, and I'll get there, and I'm grateful that I have that motivation that I've been looking for such a long time. So those are the 5 things I'm very grateful for, and yeah, I encourage you to write down and think about 5 things that you're grateful for in your life as well. Let's talk about a few things here. Adulting. Adulting is hard. It is not easy. To adult is like, it's like a job that you did not sign up for, but you're doing it anyways because ain't nobody gonna do it for you, you know? you know?
Listen, being an adult is a complete and utter scam. When we're kids, we all can't wait. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to be 18. I can't wait to be an adult. I want to be an adult. It was a scam. It's fake. Why? As an adult, you now have responsibilities. Did I ask for responsibilities? You have to go and work. Oh, you have to go and work.
I've come to realize that I don't enjoy being an adult as much as I thought I'd enjoy it when I was a kid. And it's scary to think that a lot of us have this mentality of, I cannot wait to grow up, I cannot wait to grow up, when we don't even know nothing about life. And I think it's important to prepare yourself in any situation that you're going into, even adulthood. Like, you need to prepare yourself for it. So it's a journey. It's a journey, and you will make mistakes, and you will fall, and you will be in pits of darkness sometimes. But the good thing is there's always light at the end of that tunnel. There's always a redemption. This is your story, and you can rewrite the chapter however you want. Let's talk about work, because that's one of the things that initially encouraged me to start this podcast, because I wanted a platform where I could just kind of like voice my opinions and just have a form of release. I feel like a lot of us have a lot of stress and we hold it in, and we don't have the right platforms to release it to. And even though I have a good support system, sometimes it's not any and everything that I want to talk about, because I know they won't understand. And I'm not someone who likes to pour my burdens onto people. I just don't like doing that. And therapy is expensive, because who's paying for it? Not me. So I figured doing this podcast will help me kind of like get my thoughts and feelings out there and organized. And as time goes on, I'm hoping to see an improvement in my mindset, and hopefully help a few people who may feel like me as well. So we're going to talk about jobs, because that's one of the things that really bothers me as an adult, like working a 9-to-5 job, jobs that you don't want to do, when you know you have different goals and different dreams, but in order to achieve those things, you need to work and you need money. And sometimes you have to do things and change your life in certain ways and make certain sacrifices that you are just not happy with, and that can take a toll on your mental health, on your health in general, and it's just not nice. It's just not nice. Listen, I am someone who wants to be in a position where I'm able to provide for my family. Not just my own family, like my son and partner. I'm talking my entire family, friends included as well. I want to be in a position where I can help. I am someone who likes to give, and I've never been in a position where I can give. I've received a lot, and I'm very grateful for that, but I sometimes feel so bad, because it's like, if I could give you guys the world, I would, but I'm currently not in the position to do that, and that bothers me so much. And I don't feel like I'm meant for this type of lifestyle, this roughing it out, thugging it out. I'm too classy for that, you know? I'm not a warrior. I'm not.
Oh gosh, I'm not really a strongest soldier, but I've been in the battle for some time now. I've been in the war for some time now. Um, can we come to an understanding? Maybe pick up different soldier.
And it's hard, because you have to be a warrior to survive. And right now, I am out here fighting to survive, fighting to live, fighting to achieve my goals. And I don't like it. I really don't like it. I would like a soft life, but as someone who is trying to follow God as well, I know it's not going to be easy. I know we have to all carry our crosses, and I'm fine with that. But I'm just saying, like, Jesus, slow down a little bit, please, because you're giving me a heart attack, and I don't want that. I don't. But I understand as well that we need to go through all of it. I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel like I'm not meant to be living the life that I'm living. And I struggle with that statement so much, because I really feel like that. I genuinely feel like that. And it's not something that is, that's just recently occurring. I've always felt like that. I've always been an ambitious person. I've always been a creative person. And I feel like I have a lot of skills that I could, utilize. And I've never really found the one thing that I could apply those skills to and stick to, and it's just been really hard. I've gone from wanting to be this and wanting to be that, and struggling with who I am and my identity and things like that, and it's just been a mess. And I have been working since I was 16. I am now going to be 28 years old, and I don't feel like I have much to show for being in the 9 to 5 working industry. I just don't feel like I have much to show for it. And yes, I get paid. Yes, it has put food on the table. Yes, it's kept a roof over my head. I've been able to enjoy holidays here and there, buy beautiful things. I am someone who loves my makeup. I love my skincare. I love my jewelry. I am that girl, right? And yes, it's been able to provide for that. But as in internal gratification, I don't really feel like it's provided me with that. And that's how I know I'm just not meant to be doing these roles. I don't consider myself someone who answers to people. I feel like I'm a leader, and I feel like I should be running my own thing in my own way. And I've struggled with that for so long. So if you are in the same position, then girl, guy, I hear you. I feel you, because same. And it's hard because when you have a certain vision and goal for yourself, it's very easy to fall into that mindset of I have to have it now, and it doesn't matter what needs to happen, but it's happening now. And that's very dangerous, because sometimes you're not even prepared for those things. And that's why I think it's important to, you know, be in the present and enjoy what's currently going on in your life and be grateful. That's why I think it's important to actually reflect on what you're grateful for, because it can humble you and also encourage you to just kind of like stay focused and be a bit more patient. Yeah, it's really hard, and I'm not going to shy away from that and pretend that everything's okay, because some days I wake up and I feel like I just want to go back to bed, but I know I have to turn up and show up to work and put on my best, best face and just go through it. And I don't want to do that. I want to be in a position where I can wake up on my own accord, on my own time, knowing I'm still making that money to provide for my family and feed my shopping habits and just enjoy life for what it is, connect with God, and just be a good person and give to the people that I love, because I'm a giver, and I've never been in a position where I can give to people. I feel like the jobs that I'm working are just temporary. I've skipped a lot of jobs, worked a lot of places. I was once a job hopper in my teen years. I went from job to job because I just never was happy, and it was always temporary for me. And that's one of my fears. I think I have a massive anxiety about going into a work position knowing full well that I might just dip at any moment, and it upsets me because I don't want to let anyone down. I don't want to seem like I'm not reliable. It's just that it's just not for me. It doesn't resonate, and I rather exit early before I put any mental strain on my mind and things like that. But guys, we have to pay our dues, and that's the one thing I want to talk about. Yes, we may have goals for ourselves. Yes, we may have a certain lifestyle that we want to live. I want to live a lifestyle of wealth. I want to be rich, not filthy rich, but I want to be wealthy. I want to be able to give to charity, host certain events. Girl, I want to be a socialite. Talk about Blair Waldorf. Think like that. Think about Elle Woods. That's the vibe I'm trying to be on. And I'm not going to shy away from it. That is literally the vibe I'm trying to be on. I want to be able to provide and not have to worry about anything at all, and know that the future generation ahead of me, the line that I leave, the bloodline that I leave behind, are all secure. And I want every single person in my family, from my son and if I have another child as well, from their generations, to be as ambitious as I am and go for what they want, and not settle, because that's one thing I'm never doing. I'm never settling. But I also realize that you have to pay your dues, and as much as I don't like it, it's just what it is. A lot of people who have gotten to where they are right now, they didn't just get it like that. I mean, unless your mom and your dad are filthy rich, or you have a filthy rich family that you were born into, a lot of us have had to start from the very bottom, from the pit of the earth, to make our way up. The funny thing about paying your dues is it feels like it's forever. It does. It feels like you are doing it constantly and you're not seeing any results, right? Because that's how I feel. I feel like I've been paying my dues for a decade. Why is nothing happening? But if I sit back and reflect on where I was to where I am now, I can promise you I am a completely different person, and I have grown and matured, and a lot of things have happened in my life that I written down to happen that has already happened. So it's just about trying to get yourself in a mindset where you know that it'll all turn out how you want it. Because if that's a desire on your heart, best believe God will grant those desires, and God has blessings for us waiting. We just need to be patient, and we just need to go through what we're going through in order to receive what is coming to us. And some of us are not prepared for the things that's coming to us. We like to rush ourselves too much into wanting this and wanting that. But how are you wanting this and wanting that when you're not even ready for it? How are you wanting all of these things when you don't even have the right tools and mindset to receive these things? And that's why I feel like it hasn't come to me yet, and that's why I feel like it maybe hasn't come to a lot of people out there in the same position as me. So yeah, paying your dues is something that we all have to do, guys, and as much as we don't like it, we just sometimes have to bite our tongues and push through it. But let me not lie and sit here with you and tell you that it isn't hard, because it is. It really, really is, especially as someone who is creative and likes to do a lot of things and has a very ambitious entrepreneurial mindset. Because I, in my head, am a businesswoman. I don't care what you think. I've tried businesses, they've failed. I'm not ashamed to say it. I've done a lot of things where I've received little to minimum support. Yeah, some of it's my fault because I could have promoted better, I could have been more consistent on it. But other times it's also been things like sharing my business and not receiving the type of reaction that I expected to receive, like applause and, you know, people going for it and supporting my friends and family. And that's just kind of like, you know, depleted my, you know, my excitement for it. So yeah, I have done a lot of things that's not worked out, but that doesn't mean I'm stopping. It just means that it's just not the right thing for me or the right time. But I'm going to continue to do it, and that's me paying my dues, as well as going into jobs that I don't want to work. Currently I'm in a position where I'm working a job where I can actually see good things from it, but again, I don't want to jinx it or anything like that. I'm just going with the flow. But I know maybe in a couple months time I might get a bit tired, I might get a bit bored, I might think actually it's not for me. But who's to say? I'm not there yet, and I shouldn't think like that. Right now I need to just focus on seeing the potential good outcomes that could come from the position I'm in. And as much as we feel like we've been paying our dues for ages and ages and ages, if I'm being honest, it's out of our hands. It's not for us to decide whether or not we're ready for this. And when the time is right, best believe it will happen. It's just not on our time. And as humans, we want things to be done when we want it to be done. And that's just not how God operates. That's what I've realized. That's just not how God operates. So yeah, paying your dues is it's a universal law of living. A lot of the things that I've said may be hard to digest, but I feel, even for me actually, it's very hard for me to say these things and digest them, because as much as I know they are true, that we all do have to pay our dues, I feel like a lot of people feel like this and they don't talk about it and they don't accept it. And when you're in a space of denial, it can really damage how your future and mindset progresses a long time. So yeah, as much as it's hard to digest, we need to hear it and we need to encourage each other from time to time. So hi, I'm your accountability partner. Let's work through this together. Let's try to always flip the negatives into positive wherever we can. One of the things that I use to help me in this tough period of feeling this way is scriptures and quotes. And one of the scriptures that has really helped me so far in this journey is Philippians 4 verse 13, which is, I can do all things through him who gives me strength. And to me, that just tells me all that I desire, all that I want, God has already set out for me, if not better. I just need to wait. And that's what you need to do too. So if you have things on your heart that you want and you're yearning for, and God sees that and God knows that, trust me, it's happening. And probably even better, whatever you have and whatever you're thinking of, God has way better plan for you. It's just a matter of fact of waiting and going through what you need to go through, and just bearing that cross, carrying that cross. I mean, Jesus did it, so who are we to not go through some struggles to receive the eternal reward as well as the physical reward on this earth. I really, really like that scripture because it just kind of like reminds me that, listen, good things are on the way. We just need to wait. You need to wait, and you need a good support system, and mine is God. I genuinely feel like God has helped me so much in my life, and I'm not trying to be a massive, you know, like, oh, you should convert, you should follow God. No, I'm just saying, you know, for me, that's what's been my anchor, and that scripture really, really helps me, pushes me to stay on the right track, and I love that. But let me tell you a joke as well in regards to all of this. So obviously I started this new job. One of the things that I love about starting a new job is obviously meeting people and introducing yourself and getting to know a little bit about people and sharing a little bit about yourself. And I was introduced to my team, and there was this lady that was sat next to us. I was taking notes of the things, and she turned around to me and she was asking me a question, and she called me and she said, Natalie ... And in a moment I just stopped. And I didn't say anything. I didn't correct her at all. I just answered the question. But in the back of my head, I was thinking, why did you not correct her? Why did you not say that your name is Natasha? I mean, it could have been a mistake on her behalf. But the next day she did it again, actually. And I didn't correct her again either. And that cracks me up because I'm thinking, why did I do that? Why was it so difficult for me to correct someone on you know, calling me the right name? And honestly, I really don't know why I didn't correct her, but I found that very funny because it just goes to show sometimes as well, when we're going out for things and we're reaching for the stars, reaching for our goals, sometimes a lot of us stay silent because internally we know it's not the right moment yet to seize that opportunity, you know, to go for something. And I feel like in that moment I just kind of internally felt like it wasn't the right time to correct her, because I know she didn't do that maliciously. I know it was just an accident and she was just engaging with me in conversation, and I didn't want to kind of like be like, actually it's Natasha. And even though that's not, you know, what I just said there wasn't rude or anything like that, it can just turn someone off, you know. They're trying to get to know you and then you just kind of call them out on calling you the wrong name, and it's like, it could just turn them off from wanting to talk to you. And I just felt like maybe at a different time, you know, and I did correct her and it was fine. And I feel like sometimes we all know deep down inside of us that we need to wait. This is just not the right time yet. We need to get things done. We need to prepare ourselves for the blessings coming ahead. And this is what I mean when I talk about paying your dues. And yeah, sometimes it's just as simple as telling yourself that it is coming. I just need to be a bit more patient. And also, it's okay to be like, yeah, I'm grateful for all the good things in my life, but also right now my life sucks and I don't like this for myself, and I don't want this for myself. I want better and I want more. It's okay to believe that, and it's okay to want that. No one is saying that that's a selfish thing. Who wouldn't want more for themselves? You'd be out of your mind if you wanted to live a life where you were miserable 24/7. No one deserves that. No one deserves that. And I want more for myself. I have a child to think about now. You know, it's not as easy as, oh, I can settle, I can deal with this. No, I don't want that for my child. I want my child to be as ambitious, if not even more ambitious and more level-headed than I am. You know, that's the type of examples I'm trying to set. And I am not okay with sitting down and pretending that everything is all right when it's not. Yes, I have days where I wake up and I feel great and I'm going about my day and I'm seeing all the good things around me and I'm, you know, excited for the future because I know it's, you know, coming and whatever. And then other days I'm like, oh gosh, it's taken so ages. I'm sick and tired of having to get up every single morning and do this and do that and whatever and whatever. Yeah, we just sometimes need to understand that everything is a learning curve and we all have to go through it before we get where we need to be or get what we desire. Because if everything was going right in your life, then what rewards are you expecting for yourself? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, struggle equals results, and if you ain't struggling, good for you. No, I'm kidding. But something must be wrong, because why are you struggling? Everyone struggles in their own way, even rich people. So yeah, guys, I hope this has shed some insight. I hope a lot of you have learned and taken some things away from this, because this has definitely been a very, very enjoyable talk. I've loved being able to share how I feel currently right now in my life, and also share some good advice, hopefully some good advice that, you know, I can take and actually apply to my life, but also you guys can take, whoever is watching. And I'm very grateful for the people who have decided to tune in and stick around and hear me babble and rant about the stresses of adulthood, because it is stressful over here. I don't know about you, but I'm stressed. I am stressed, but not depressed. And that's all right, as long as you don't fall into the trap of feeling like this is going to be your forever, because it's not. So let's try to shift our mindset, and let's try to remember that good things are coming. We just need to wait, and we just need to go through what we are currently going through. So yes, guys, thank you so much for watching and listening to this podcast. If you liked and enjoyed what you heard and saw today, please drop a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video, or you will hear me on the next podcast episode. And also, I will leave the link to my book, Saltwater and Sunlight, for you to check out if you are a reader out there that enjoys poetry and all that good stuff. But until next time, guys, this is Natasha signing out.